Hi there, so today I'm going to talk about watercolours and watercolour techniques, and I just thought I'd introduce you by showing some of the materials that I use, that I have used, and just to give you a few tips. Okay, so there's lots of different types of watercolours. You can get tube sets, they are Reeves tubes, whatever you prefer. You can get these pan sets, so when you open them up, they've got these little pans of paint, and you can replace those. Okay. Something which I've got recently, which I quite like actually. This is off Amazon. What's it called? I'm not sure actually. Oh, it's called Fwmwi. Fwmwi. Oh, okay. And this folds out so you can see all these different colours, and it's just really nice. So it's really, I love the idea of this, just taking this on holiday. I think this is about £20 to buy. And you also get brush pen, which when you take that off, you can actually fill up with water. And then when you use the pen, let's have a look. Yeah, you can then blend out your colours with that brush pen. Okay, so that's a good thing. You also get 2 free brush pens, which is brilliant. So this is a Japanese company, but yeah, a good little set that. And you even get a little bit on the top there that you can dab your colour out there. However, one of my favourite sets of paints are fairly cheap actually, and they're just the Reeves pan set. And the reason I like these is because you can get quite subtle colours, whereas I think the pan sets are very vivid. And just be aware of that. So this is my set of colours. As you can see, they're very mucky. So what I have to do is to clean them, I get some rag or a bit of tissue, dip it in my water, and I just wipe them like that. Okay, so that's all you do. Brushes wise, a range of brushes, bigger brushes for doing wash areas. You might want even bigger than that actually, and just some nice watercolour brushes. You can get super fine brushes as well, and you can get a rigger brush, which is like a really long brush like that for extra fine lines. Okay. You can get things like masking fluid. What that does is, I don't tend to use it that much, but yeah, there's still some in there. What you can do is paint masking fluid on, and let's just see. It ruins your brushes though, so I sometimes just put it on with a stick or something like that. I'll just demonstrate. So I'm just going to do a couple of lines of masking fluid like that. Okay. So I've just put it on. All right. And then you have to wait for that to dry. And then when it's dry, then you can paint over it. And then when your paint's dry, then you can just peel this off. Okay. And it's left a white area to ensure your white areas. So what I'm going to do today then is I've got my water. The sort of paper that I use as well is, I quite like to go big. So this is A3 Daler around my pad. You don't have to stretch this paper, but I prefer to stretch it because it just makes it seem better for me. So this is A3 size, 300 grams paper, and it's just, excuse me, sorry for sneezing. It's just quite a nice thickness quality to use. So here's some examples that I've done. So this is my an old gentleman that I painted. And you can see some of the techniques that I'm going to show you here today. I've used wet on wet in there, just for the eyes, and I quite like these wrinkly old faces, a bit like my own. This is of my cousin's daughter. I just thought it was a lovely picture. She's looking out the train window, quite delicate there, the building up the layers. So painting in watercolour is just like painting with any other paints. We build up in layers. Okay, that's another one. And this one I've just done, which I quite enjoyed doing actually, because it's a little bit different. Okay, so what I've done then to demonstrate is I've drawn out an eye like that. And what I'm going to do is just show you different techniques. So have your water. I've got my water. I've got a little bit of tissue just to dab, and I've got my paints. Right, so what I'm going to do is show you how to do wet on wet. So to do wet on wet, I'm actually going to paint the eye area in just with water. I am not going to paint the white bits. I don't know if you can see that. It won't run. On there, I've left the white. I've drawn white highlights, and I'm just going to leave them with no water, and I'll show you why in a minute. We'll go for some nice greeny blue eyes here. Have a look. Yep, nice greeny blue. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop that in. And what happens is the paint will only go where you want it to go. Yeah. So I'm going to use to just tease that, and you get these lovely watery effects. Like that. Now the thing about watercolour is light to dark. Don't go in straight away with a load of paint, because you might never be able to get rid of it. So it really is about building light layers and building up to darker shades. Okay, so I've just done that now. Now then, the thing is, I don't know if you can see that. Now the thing is, if I now went to paint that pupil in black, what would happen is that would actually just spread straight into the green. So what I've got to do now is be patient, and I've got to work on another area. I might work under the eye here, that's not next to that, so I can wait for that to dry. So I'm going to add a bit of white. I'm using the same kind of flesh colours I would do, flesh colours as I would use for anything else. So I'm using my white, a little bit of yellow, and yellow ochre. Lots of water. I'm going to add a little bit of red in there. And as you can see, it makes this, I need some more red, kind of fleshy toned colour. Okay, now then, if that's a bit bright, you can add a little bit of blue. A little bit blue. This is the same for oils and acrylics as well. And then you can put it on. Now with this one, I'll show a different technique. Now this is not wet on wet. I'm doing this as you can put colour on and then drag it. Okay, so I'll just put that there. What I'm going to do is use my water now, and I'm going to actually move it to where I want. Now the only thing about pencil, so you get like a clean edge, and then you can build it out. Can you see that? Yeah. The only thing about pencil is that you can still see pencil through watercolour. You can get pencils which rub out, so they might be worth having a look at. It's actually a watercolour pencil. So I'm going to leave that. I'm just seeing if this is, no, that's still too wet. So what I'm going to do is build this flesh colour on the top there, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to do my flesh colour there. I'll just make a little bit more of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fresh water, and I'm just going to paint that area in. I'm not going into this bit of flesh yet because it will all smudge. So I'm just going to add a little bit more colour there. Like that. Yeah. A little bit of blue, calms it down, not too peachy. And there we go. And I'm just going to put that in. And then you can fill up big areas straight away. And I'm just going to use my water, and I'm just going to ease that out. Just like that. And I'll just tease it out there as well, because I don't want any hard edges. Now at this stage, the nice thing is, what you can do is use a little bit of pink on there, and you can just add, if you think it's not quite right, the right colour, you can just add a little bit more. Now then, I'm just going to show you a little bit of this masking fluid. I'll just put a dark colour on so you can see what happens. That bit's not quite dry, so I'm not going to do that bit yet. I'm just going to paint over these so you can see what I mean in a minute when it's dry. Okay, so that's almost dry there. So now what I can do is go onto this dark pupil, like that, and I can now put that in. Okay. The nice thing about watercolours as well, I really like, is that I can sit in front of the telly. I don't need a load of equipment. I can just literally have a set of paints, just one set of paints, brushes, and my board that I've put, stretched paper on, and that's it. You don't have to do, you don't